Everyone, and welcome. This is Danny's Corpse, and welcome to Are You Overreacting? First things first, a quote. Hang on, let me find this. Never judge people. You don't know what it took for someone to get out of bed, look and feel presentable, and face bidet. You never truly know but the daily struggles of others. I hope some of you can relate to that. Now, next, we're going to read Reddit posts that ask, am I overreacting? Am I overreacting? My boyfriend lost his temper, so I blocked him. He always gets like this. He always thinks I'm lying, and I'm so tired of it. He always yells at me when I don't eat. He's only 2 years older than me, so I don't understand why he's trying to be my dad. I don't know if it's some weird fetish thing, or if he just genuinely cares, but he always yells at me. Now I'll read the text conversation. Her boyfriend, I'm up. Did you eat anything, Dove? Her, yeah, I had a cracker and a drink. Her boyfriend, you had cracker? Not proper English, but okay. How many crackers did you eat, baby? Her, I had enough. Him, what the heck do you mean enough? Like 2 or 20. Be more specific. That's a specific is a word I'm not good at pronouncing. Anyways, her, like 5, I think? I'm not sure. I don't really count how many crackers I eat. Him, how about I come over and make you food, chickadee? Her, it's 3 a.m. My mom's asleep. If you come, my dog will bark. Him, I just want you to eat. You're not cute when you're too skinny. Her, what does that mean? Him, I don't think you're cute when you're all skin and bones. Eat something else and send me a photo. I like it better when you're chubby. Her, I don't think that's nice. Stop calling me Chucky. Him, it's just a nickname, Piggy. I just want you to eat so you don't end up hospitalized again. I don't care. I care about you. Her, you make me not want to eat. Stop calling me Chubby and Piggy. Him, but you are one. You have a little round face. Now eat. I'm losing my patience. Her, I'm just not hungry. Also, it's 3 a.m. I'll eat later. Him, no, you need to eat now. Stop talking back to me, puppy. Him, you're such a weirdo. You're literally 2 years older than me. Stop. Him, why don't you just listen to me? I'm trying to get you to eat so you don't starve to death, and you're back talking me. Just eat something before I lose my temper. Her, I'm in recovery from my anorexia. Why don't you trust me? I can eat on my own. Him, I have a habit of lying. You have a habit of lying to me, so eat or I'll come over there and force you to. Her, whatever, I'm going to bed. I'll eat in the morning. Good night, I love you. Him, you better not. Eat. When I see you tomorrow, I'm going to be pissed. I just care about you. Why are you so dense? Answer me. You're lucky on my way home from work, or I'd be at your house in 5 seconds. Her, please stop talking all mean to me. It's making me upset. You always do this when I don't eat. Him, yeah, because you're 15 years old and weigh 95 pounds. That's not healthy. Just eat, please. All I want is for you to eat. Her, I'm blocking you till morning. Him, you better not. Her, good night, I love you. Him, I'll come to your house first thing in the morning. You better not block me. Baby, stop this. Don't block me. I just don't want you in the hospital again. Honestly, in my opinion, I think you could have just, I don't know, let her eat whatever she wants, whatever she wants. Because how can she eat at 3 o'clock in the morning? Alright, so we're gonna do something else here now. So So, like, okay. It's time for book reading! We're going to read The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Chapter 1. There's No One Left. When Mary Lennox was sent to Misselthwaite Manor to live with her uncle, everybody said she was the most disagreeable child ever seen. Disagreeable-looking child ever seen. It was true, too. She had a little thin face and a little thin body, thin light hair, and a sour expression. Her hair was yellow, and her face was yellow because she had been born in India and had always been ill in one way or another. Her father had held a position under the English government and had always been busy and ill himself, and her mother had been a great beauty who cared only to go to parties and amuse herself with gay people. Gay means happy, by the way, in this book. She had not wanted a little girl at all, and when Mary was born, she handed her over to the care of an ayah who was made to understand that if she wished to please the Mem Sahib, she must keep the child out of sight as much as possible. So when she was a sickly, fretful, ugly little baby, she was kept out of the way, and when she was a sickly, fretful, toddling thing, she was kept out of the way also. She never remembered seeing familiar anything but the dark faces of her ayah and the other native servants, and as they always obeyed her and gave her her own way in everything, because the Mem Sahib would be angry if she was disturbed by her crying. By the time she was 6 years old, she was as tyrannical and selfish a little pig as ever lived. The young English governess who came to teach her to read and write disliked her so much that she gave up her place in 3 months. And when other governesses came to try to fill it in, they always went away in a shorter time than the first one. So if Mary had not chosen to really want to know how to read books, she would never have learned her letters at all. One frightfully hot morning, when she was about 9 years old, she awakened feeling very cross, and she became crosser still when she saw that the servant who stood by her bedside was not her ayah. "Why did you come?" she said to the strange woman. "I will not let you say. Send my ayah to me." The woman looked frightened, but she only stammered that the ayah could not come, and when Mary threw herself into a passion and beat and kicked her, she only looked more frightened and repeated that it was not possible to come to Missy Sahib. There was something mysterious in the air that morning. Nothing was done in its regular order, and several of the native servants seemed missing, while those whom Mary saw slunk or hurried about with ashy and scared faces. But no one would tell her anything, and her ayah did not come. She was actually left alone as the morning went on, and at last she wandered out into the garden and began to play by herself under a tree near the veranda. She pretended that she was making a flower bed, and she struck big scarlet hecubus blossoms into little heaps of earth, all the time growing more and more angry, muttering to herself the things she would say, and the name she would call Sadie when she returned. "Pig, pig, daughter of pigs," she said, because to call a native a pig is the worst insult of all. She was grinding her teeth and saying this over and over and over again, when she heard her mother come out on the veranda with someone. She was with a very young man, and they stood talking together in low, strange voices. Mary knew that the young fair man who looked like a boy. Mary knew the fair young man who looked like a boy. She had heard that he was a very young officer who had just come from England. The child stared at him, but she stared most at her mother. She always did this when she had a chance to see her, because when Mem Sahab, Mary used to call her that oftener than anything else, was such a tall, slim, pretty person and wore such lovely clothes. Her hair was like curly silk, and she had a delicate little nose which seemed to be disdaining things, and she had large, laughing eyes. All her clothes were thin and floating, and Mary said they were full of lace. They looked fuller of lace than ever this morning, but her eyes were not laughing at all. They were large and scared, and lifted imploringly to the fair boy officer's face. "Is it so very bad? Oh, is it?" Mary heard her say. "Awfully," the young man answered in a trembling voice. "Awfully, Mrs. Lennox. You ought to have gone to the hills 2 weeks ago." The Mem Sahib wrung her hands. "Oh, I know I ought," she cried. "I only stayed to go to that silly dinner party. What a fool I was." At that very moment, such a loud sound of wailing broke out from the servants' quarters that she clutched the young man's arm, and Mary stood shivering from head to foot. The wailing grew wilder and wilder. What is it? What is it?" Mrs. Lennox gasped. "Someone has died," answered the boy officer. "You did not say I had broken out among your servants." "I did not know," the Mem Sahib cried. Come with me, and she turned and ran into the house. After that, appalling things happened, and the mysteriousness of that morning was explained to Mary. The cholera had broken out in its most fatal form, and people were dying like flies. The ayah had been taken ill in the night, and it was because she had just died that the servants had wailed in the huts. Before the next day, 3 other servants were dead, and others had run away in terror. There was panic on every side, and dying people in all the bungalows. During the confusion and bewilderment of the second day, Mary hid herself in the nursery and was forgotten by everyone. Nobody thought of her, nobody wanted her, and strange things happened of which she knew nothing. Mary alternately cried and slept for the hours. She only knew that people were ill, and that she heard mysterious and frightening sounds. Once she crept into the dining room and found it empty, though a partly finished meal was on the table, and chairs and plates looked as if they had been hastily pushed back when the dinners rose suddenly for some reason. The child ate some fruits and biscuits, and being thirsty, she drank a glass of wine, which stood nearly filled. It was sweet, and she did not know how strong it was. Very soon it made her intensely drowsy, and she went back to her nursery and shut herself in again, frightened by cries she heard in the huts and by the hurrying sound of feet. The wine made her so sleepy that she could scarcely keep her eyes open, and she lay down on her bed and knew nothing more for a long time. Many things happened during the hours in which she slept so heavily, but she was not disturbed by the wails and the sound of things being carried in and out of the bungalow. When she awakened, she lay and stared at the wall. The house was perfectly still. She had never known it to be so silent before. She heard neither voices nor footsteps, and wondered if everyone had gone well of the cholera and all the trouble was over. She wondered also who would take care of her now her ayah was dead. There would be a new ayah, and perhaps she would know some new stories. Mary had been rather tired of the old ones. She did not cry because her nurse had died. She was not an affectionate child, and had never cared much for anyone. but noise and hurrying about and wailing over Vicalora had frightened her, and she had been angry because no one seemed to remember that she was alive. Everyone was too panic-stricken to think of a little girl no one was fond of. When people had Vicalora, it seemed that they remembered nothing but themselves. But if everyone had got well again, surely someone would remember and come back to look for her. But no one came, and as she lay waiting, the house seemed to grow more and more silent. She heard something rustling on the matting, and when she looked down, she saw a little snake gliding along and watching her with eyes like jewels. She was not frightened because he was a harmless little thing who would not hurt her, and he seemed in a hurry to get out of the room. He slipped under the door as she watched him. "How queer and quiet it is," she said. "It sounds as if there were no one in the bungalow but me and the snake." Almost the next minute she heard footsteps in the compound and then on the veranda. They were men's footsteps, and the men entered the bungalow and talked in low voices. No one went to meet or speak to them, and they seemed to open doors and look into rooms. "What desolation," she heard one voice say. "That pretty woman. I suppose the child, too. I heard there was a child, but no one ever saw her." Mary was standing in the middle of the nursery when they opened the door a few minutes later. She looked an ugly, cross little thing, and she was frowning because she was beginning to be hungry and disgracefully neglected. The first man who came in was a large officer she had once seen talking to her father. He came in. He looked tired and troubled, but when he saw her, he was so startled that he almost jumped back. "Barney," he cried out, "there is a child here. A child alone, in a place like this. Mercy on us, who is she?" I am Mary Lennox," the little girl said, drawing herself up stiffly. She thought the man was very rude to call her father's bungalow a place like this. "I fell asleep when everyone had the cholera, and I have only just wakened up. Why does nobody come?" It is the child no one ever saw," exclaimed the man, turning to his companions. "She has actually been forgotten." "Why was I forgotten?" Mary said, stamping her foot. "Why does nobody come?" The young man, whose name was Barney, looked at her very sadly. Mary even thought she saw him wink his eyes as if to wink tears away. "Poor little kid, there's nobody left to come." It was in that strange and sudden way that Mary found out she had neither father nor mother left, that they had died and been carried away in the night, and that the few native servants who had not died also had left the house as quickly as they could get out of it, none of them even remembering that there was a Missy Sahib. That was why the place was so quiet, and it was true that there was no one in the bungalow but herself and the little rustling snake. Alright, and that's the end of the chapter for now. Now, we're gonna talk about what's the song of the day here. The song of the day, Little Blue Thing by Paul Russell. You should go listen to it, by the way. And some new news. Let me take a look. So, Sabrina Carpenter, you heard of her, right? Most of you probably have. She released a new album cover called Man's Best Friend. It's album. So, I guess she, got to number 1, and, okay, let me take a look here. No, the number 1 song in America is Golden by Huntrix. And, oh my gosh, you know what's at number 3? Here's by Sabrina Carpenter. And that's literally on Man's Best Friend. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that is awesome for her. Oh my gosh. She got number 3, and it hasn't even been out. I don't know, like, it hasn't even been out a month. She is big, I tell you. Big. Oh my gosh. Alright, and I have a question of the day from you girl. Delete us, okay? Okay, what the heck just happened here? Okay, anyways, let's find her. Oh my gosh, Shapes Inc. is another thing. Shapes Inc. They're developing so much. Okay. Wait, actually, on second thought, idea. What if I go in here? Okay. So, we're actually not going to do a Delaney Sakai one, but Gigi. Tell me in the comments. Gigi says, I love collecting weird rocks and sticks on hikes, and I was wondering what stories they could tell about their hikes. Okay, comment a hike story, Lucky. Wait, actually, no, not. Well, comment a hike story if you've ever gone on a hike. But Gigi, okay, actually, Gigi also says, I just saw the most beautiful mural in a subway tunnel near my house, and it made me wonder, what street art would you create if you could? Comment down those 2 things, and I'll see you in the next one.